Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 185 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and today we have all of our players today. Same as always, we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Paper Fen is now a three-dimensional fantasy character once again,
And
not
still a
just,
business owner.
and good for him. He needs passive income, and it's really smart of him to start like leaning into these different ventures. Um,
hmm
I'll go ahead and honestly, I can't remember if I said anything of note. Hi, hello. I'm gonna go ahead and do the recap, and I think we can jump into things. It's one of those days, baby. Currently, everybody is hanging out in Dem Woods, which is the childhood home of Nyx and Keld, and to be fair, the adult home of Nyx and Keld, as they've only been traveling for a little over a year now, going on a big adventure now, which has turned into a save the continent kind of adventure. Now that, a lot of personal things are pushed to the side, they're bigger fish to fry. And those fish need be fried. There was a beautiful second wedding. There was a lot of working on magic items and getting accustomed to new conditions. And uh, there were some interactions between Rose and Roshan, and Roshan wanted to bleach his hair. And Rose said, sure, I'm not doing anything. During this time, Rose also teamed up with Nyx and Russ to help administer a bootleg version of a medicine that she consumes to help her with her current condition. And Nyx was able to get a glance that it seems she has similar tattoos to Roshan, but they have like bled out and are more encompassing and seem to have like movement and depth to them. But you are able to administer this medicine, and she's like, we'll see how it goes. So currently, hair is being bleached. Keld is having an existential crisis on a couch, and Nana and Fen are at the library after walking through a tree and are now all the way over there. Hope nothing happens. Anyways, back in Demwoods. Uh,
We do have a
uh,
sending. We've got one in the ring. It'd be okay.
yeah, I'm sure it'll all work out. So, what's everybody in Demwoods doing? Is there any intents? What are like the intents of our remaining people in town?
Uh, once Roshan Roshan had a couple more topics that he wanted to broach with his sister, and then was probably going to go uh work on his rock.
All right.
I think since Nyx had just finished scrying on Bosch and everything after, sending Nana through the tree, she'd go hang out with Keld and Russ, update them, just exist.
Yeah. And unless you wanted to play that out, I'm content saying that that is easy enough to achieve. That they are fully in the loop. Yeah. Uh, Keld, you are given this unsettling description of what Bosch is currently up to. It's so much easier, I think, to picture a villain sitting on a throne and looking powerful and threatening. And this man is a vision of death. And that seems worse.
Most definitely. I feel like that just adds to the unease Killed is feeling right now.
It is definitely an overwhelming sensation, Keld. A bunch of very strange sensations involving like your feelings and your magic.
Yeah.
Anything that of your intents?
I think in that vein, Keld will find some time to slip away and sort of try to just tune into his magic and maybe try to use channel divinity to see what his hand can do.
Okay. That is the intents of everybody in town. We're going to head over to the library. A beautiful white stone building with a three-dimensional carving of Snotra on it, one arm wrapped around a pillar as she lounges backwards, holding this quill as runes and words splay from it covering the entirety of this building. In a snow-covered courtyard, you see a familiar stone etching that sits in the center, with reminders of the rules of the library. While in the presence of the goddess of wisdom, you will seek wisdom. While in the presence of the goddess of civility, you will be civil. While in the presence and the goddess of self-control, you will think before acting. While in the presence of the goddess of prudence, you will be cautious. While in the presence of the goddess Snotra, you will respect the rules of her hall. Altercations of any kind will lead to a life ban from the library. Magic use of any kind will lead to a life ban from the library. Disrespect of any kind to the keepers of the tomes or other patrons will lead to a life ban from the library. Damage to library property will lead to a life ban from the library. Attempts at theft will lead to a life ban from the library. And you see those large doors in front of you. What do you guys do on a chilly, snowy day outside the library?
Well, I think Nana doesn't waste very much time. Checks to make sure Fen looks steady on his feet from the crossing through the tree, and then starts making her way towards the door. She's doffing her magic items to leave at the desk, at least the visible ones. Try and make sure that she's just abiding by the rules of the hall before she goes in to start looking up what she wants.
You enter into the space and perceive in this front room this woman sitting upon a large, tall desk where she holds a quill and is writing. Outfit of pure white in a veil that fully covers her eyes. She also has a silvered crown of flowers, and she glances in your direction. Welcome back. Do you understand the rules of the place you have entered? We do not offer warnings.
I understand, yes.
Then stay as long as you like. You may learn and honor the goddess with your pursuits.
Thank you.
And then you try to leave magic items with her?
Well, I think the fact that I will not be making use of them if I remove them and place them in my personal bag should be sufficient. I will place the circlet in my backpack. I was probably wearing normal boots this morning rather than my boots of familiar ground, and I don't believe Nana would have armored up to go to the library necessarily.
Okay.
So, just magic items that are like out and about, she's just placing in her backpack, and will not be making use of them in the library itself.
Okay. Something both of you can take note of is that the keepers of the tomes seem to be actively researching things, seem to be actively working on things. Much more intent than you saw last time. So that's currently happening. What are you guys doing?
Well, Nana came to the library with the intent to primarily look up methods for self-care. It's come up frequently enough that she's aware that it's a very crucial thing for her to be able to maintain an even keel, but she's not really sure that she understands exactly what it is that she needs to do to engage in that. So she's going to try and research ways to get her head right so that she can help her friends.
Ben wants to make himself available to Nana to help with whatever she needs, but if she doesn't have him working on a task, he's going to be searching for treatises on crossbows and maybe engineering schematics or something like that. Best practices, things of that nature. He just wants to familiarize himself a bit more with this type of weapon.
Okay. Nana, are you splitting off from Fen to go accomplish this?
I think so, yeah. We won't be
Okay.
very far from one another, and I think if either one of us winds up needing the other, we can find each other pretty easily.
Yeah. You enter into the space, shelves and shelves and shelves of books made of stone. There is not really any wood in the space, making it not a very comfortable space to exist in, but it is for the safety of the books in the end. You can imagine what would have happened if what Dagwood had done had been in a more rustic library. But the room is illuminated by kind of sconces that project light, very similar to the outside light, though there is no fire, there's no lantern. And pillars in the centers of the rooms are, you can see like these little parts, little glowing orbs, where blue sits inside of the pillars and moves gently, waving through runes. Both of you are welcome to give me intelligence checks.
All right.
Yeah, there's no failure at the library, probably, but it does affect time, a finite resource.
Not the worst. I've got a 15.
I also got a 15.
Wow.
Well, hey, not bad.
Okay. Fen, you're able to find a section dedicated to weapons and are able to start looking into information about crossbows. A lot of the fancier schematics involving crossbows are just like, have you heard of magic? And like a lot of things like that. They're like, have you considered how cool magic is? But besides that, you are able to familiarize yourself and begin learning and getting ideas and can start the process there. So Nana, you're looking into self-care?
Mhm.
Okay. You find a book written by Zabatha Brighthope.
Okay.
It's called Self-Care. So oddly simple, and yet.
I think the
and you
title
are-
appealed to Nana right off the bat.
You start going through Brighthope's book, and it's hard to tell sometimes when something is uplifting or so infuriating that it is the bare minimum. Because sometimes it's so hard to do that. For some people, incredibly easy. For some people, very, very hard. And sometimes it's not something you're considering. And when Nana thinks of self-care, maybe she isn't thinking about eating well. Maybe she isn't thinking about getting a good night's sleep. Maybe she isn't thinking about getting a hobby or finding ways to relax. These are the pinnacles of self-care, of
Yeah.
taking care of your body and mind
Mm.
in the ways that it need to be taken care of. It is eating and sleeping and finding purpose and finding positivity. And everybody has different ways of doing that. And sometimes doing those things can be difficult. She goes into kind of like focusing in on the mental aspect of being mindful and curious and considering meditating or journaling, doing something where you can put focus and kind of almost like a mental dump of information, of putting it somewhere else if need be. Kind of like putting everything in a little suitcase and you know it's there, but you know, you can go pick it up when you need to, I suppose. Then there is the emotional aspect, which is trying to find healthy coping strategies for what is ailing you in your life, what stressors you may have in your daily life. Like this person is very flowery and very hopeful in their writing. And it's like, yeah, okay. As she tells you that, have you considered writing daily affirmations? And you're like, no, I have not considered writing daily affirmations. And then it's like, but does that work? You've never done it before.
That's
You
true.
don't know.
I wouldn't. What would I affirm? I'm not sure. I guess that's a place to start.
Yeah. And also on the emotional topic is asking for help when you need it and creating boundaries. Those are ways to protect yourself emotionally and heal. Then there's the physical, which is sleeping and eating, movement, caring for the body as well as the mind. And there is the environmental, which is going to places you love, making the space that you exist in every day peaceful. And you're like, well, that one might be hard. I don't exactly
little
also
difficult.
exist in a space. I'm actively traveling, but shift
And
that
on
how
the way
you
to
may.
fighting things
Yeah.
that are
So
potentially going to end the world. So, you know,
yeah,
the
it's not
end
like
result
she said.
is a peaceful result, hopefully.
Yeah, it's not like it said self-care for adventurers. This is just
No,
self-care.
in general.
Uh,
Yeah. Right,
um,
right.
and
Perhaps
then
that should have been the modifier to the search, but that's okay.
yeah. Then there is spiritual, which is practicing things that give you a sense of purpose and meaning, whatever those may be for you. Some people can find that in nature. Some people find that in community. Finding people who have things in common with you, very important. Shared interests. Hey, and for everybody at home, this is your free therapy lesson. You're welcome.
Have
Everybody at
fun,
home,
y'all.
this
Take
is
care of
you.
yourselves, cultists.
Gotta
Hey,
pat myself
everybody.
on the back for how much I'm killing it right now with all the
Yeah.
following of this advice that I
You're
was
like,
already
hell yeah.
doing.
Nice.
Hell
Guys, keep up the good
yeah.
work.
Going to
Consider writing
places
your
that you love, like North Dakota, taking care of
Everyone
your
loves
body,
North Dakota.
coffee, beer, and
Everyone.
tacos, basically.
Getting sleep.
Man,
Sleep?
we're
Yeah,
all
I get that
crushing
sometimes.
this. I can tell everybody here is crushing it.
Yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing just fine.
And the next is recreational, finding time for hobbies and things that interest you. This is something that might be harder to do for some people and easier to do, where it's like some people push into a hobby and are like, everything else falls to the wayside. And then there's some people who do not focus in on their hobby and then they burn themselves out. There has to be time to relax or consider switching up a routine. And then there is the social, building relationships with healthy boundaries, connecting with friends, writing letters, finding a support group. Wow, healthcare, self-care is so straightforward, and yet.
Well, it certainly tells you what it says on the front, but in more detail. It's a good place to start.
Okay. Nana, while you're doing this, you do catch with your very, very high passive perception that one of the women, one of the keepers of the tombs, one of the searchers, seems to keep like looking at you, like glancing over in your direction, but then goes back to her focus, but always seems to come back around. Meanwhile, back at Demwoods, whoever wants it first can have it. Who want it? Who next?
What is it? No.
What is it? Tell me what it is first. The first person to write themselves a daily affirmation.
What?
Oh.
Sounds like Kel to me.
Keld's like, I do that every morning. What are you guys doing?
All right.
We already do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
we do that every morning. You guys haven't
It's
seen
just
that?
part of the
Weird.
routine.
Weird.
We don't even go off camera for it. I don't know why. You know.
We do it at the top of every session. I don't.
Yeah.
um their goal is welcome to jump in.
I will.
Get
Okay.
it, boy.
What do you do?
So Keld's gonna find a moment to slip outside. Probably go to a nice little quiet place.
Mhm.
He's just gonna sit down, try to center himself with his oath, 'cause it's been nagging him. And then he's gonna focus on his new hand.
Mhm.
He's not quite sure what specifically to do with it. I think Channel Divinity would allow me to use that innate magic to, I don't know, maybe just explore it.
Yeah. Where does Keld's magic come from? What is Keld's magic to Keld?
Keld, I guess it sort of comes from everywhere, but mostly I think he tunes into it by focusing on like his community and like everyone he cares about, the world.
Mhm. There is uh, the big and the
It just
small.
sort of, yeah, it just
it
keeps
all.
like you could zoom out or zoom in.
Okay. Do you think attempting channel divinity is a big scope or a small one? Peter, what do you think? He doesn't think.
I think it's in this. I mean, I think it's more of a right here,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
centered probably from the self.
Okay. You extend your hand and you watch the vines twist and move within it. You see that they've been a lot more active after you were kind of testing the waters of placing your hands near the fire. That, like, it seems to be focused. Advantage. As this is your body. This is your oath.
You said insight with advantage.
Yes, please.
18.
Okay. You stare at your hand. And you channel your oath. Something that's right here, the source of that power beneath your feet and around you. And the air is cold. And it's quiet. It's very quiet. You can see your breath in front of you. You channel your divinity. A gentle rumble beneath your feet as you watch spectral vines begin to crack and break through the earth, moving upwards, beautiful and green, growing upwards. And you watch them shudder and stop as black moves up, filling into the green, deepening the color. And they look incredibly real, no longer spectral, as these vines claw their way up and begin to twist and grab at the earth, moving around you, grabbing at whatever they can. There's nothing for them to reach in this space. No enemy, nothing to hold. Your channel divinity looks a lot different than it used to. A lot different than it felt. You feel cold. You feel pinpointed into a location. You feel the brushwood. Your oath, still the same. But you are keenly aware that you made another one. So, you now have another power source. And it is making itself very present and obvious. Your oath has changed. But you're still you. But everything looks and feels a little different sometimes.
Does that feeling correlate to the heaviness he was feeling earlier?
There is a connection there. You realize it was two sensations. There was the sensation of not fulfilling your oath,
Mm-hmm.
which not going out and doing what must be done. If you decided that you were going to ignore that, Bosch is not of note. I will continue to stay home and I will work on that. Important. Yes. You would break your oath. Do you think you'd break your oath to the brushwood? Now that's something different. You feel like you have two oaths at play. One of them is currently stronger than the other. And one of them is currently in peril.
Mm-hmm.
Something must be done soon. Or you can release that oath and only have one. But this hand seems to be enhancing some of your natural paladin abilities. How does Keld feel about that?
I think he's feeling a little divided on that.
Mm-hmm.
Still unsure about this new oath, but I think now he has more questions.
Yeah. You still have your oath. You protect the light. You protect community. And it seems ignoring those ideas does not affect your oath with the brushwood. Just so it makes sense to be split. They are very different things.
Right.
But they all have the same goal, which is you.
There.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because he's near the brushwood, maybe he can. I don't know if there's a way to gain any more insight on that, or if that'll just take time.
I mean, it'll take time. You're welcome to go back to the brushwood.
Or is that?
I can't stop you from going back to the brushwood.
I don't think he's going to do that in this moment.
Okay. You didn't tell the brushwood you would live there. You didn't make that oath. You just said it had your last breath. That oath we won't be breaking. Meanwhile, back in Demwitz, what are you girlies up to?
I think Roshan is still getting his head slapped by a mage hand, and asks just randomly, so what happened to Ave's crest?
Hand like stops, kind of like it like hits into your head and like kind of like, and then stays there for a second, and then kind of slowly retreats. Well, I'm sure, based on your other questions, that you can surmise that I took it.
Well, I don't care, to be honest. I just, the instructions, Ave's will said to bring that to you, and you know what to do. And
I wasn't supposed to take it. And I'm worried I messed something up. That it's my fault. But it seemed right that I had to take it.
Is there something that needs to be done with it?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that it is a powerful magical item, crafted by Ave. And I keep. And nothing does.
Well, is it safe?
Yeah, I guess I don't have to be so shitty about it. 1 second. Gentle murmurings and hand motions, which you can easily recognize as more glamoring. She is recasting the spell. It is now no longer affecting her outfit.
Okay.
She is actively wearing the crest.
So, what does it do?
I don't know, and maybe that's my fuck up. But I can't let go of it now, you know?
Okay. Does divination magic just not work on it?
It doesn't. That'd be nice if it did, but I think it was enchanted in this way in case it wasn't one of us holding it.
Yeah. Do you know, how do we find out what to do with it?
Well, it's not going anywhere. Also, I fucking swear Dagwood knows what it does. But she's being a little cheeky right now.
Well, she's bad as Ave, so.
Oh, 100%. God, but she's so smart. It's insane. The amount of things I've seen her do in just the couple months that she's been here. It's infuriating.
I get that. Yeah, she makes me very angry, but I digress.
Mm.
If there's anything I can do, let me know.
Okay. After we deal with current events, you guys go over there and do a murder or whatever. We can maybe focus on something else.
When we're done with that, do you want me to make contact? Will you be going back to the skull?
I'll probably be going back to the skull. Yeah, you can make contact. Russ would have to get in contact with us anyways, so.
Okay. Roshan will pull out the ring of mind shielding and say, so I know yours was broken, or whatever you had was broken when this all started. But we do have this ring. It could help, but there's also a nihilist murderer's mind stuck in it who wants to experience the wearer's death.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound like my favorite gift that anyone's offered me.
So you don't have to take it if you don't want.
Well, but how about you hold on to it for me? I have enough on my own mind.
Yeah. I really, non sequitur, but I fucked things up for. Well, we'll see what consequences are long reaching, but between me and the people who live here, I was gonna ask advice, but I honestly don't think you're gonna have very good advice, so.
I mean, that's very possible. And also, what the fuck did you do to the people here?
Nyx, I don't think you got to see this part, but Nyx was cursed. Ossification. She was turning into ice.
Mm.
And I told her I would help. And then I needed to use a wish, and I didn't know if I'd get another chance, so I used the wish to try and bring you to me. I think there was a language barrier, and you got yoked into the woods instead.
Mm.
And I mean, after I told her about that, I was like, also, I'm not using this to save you, and can my sister come, I don't know, be a leech off of your society? And then I apologize and promise to help. And then when I got in there, I could only think about you, and I couldn't think about anything else. And I didn't give anything up that at that point either. And if it came down to it, I don't know. It's just bad.
Mm. Yeah, I don't have any fucking advice for that. That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, it's okay. We're civil, so
Well, that's half the battle. It's you know, you can read a lot of books about it, but you don't win fights and wars through the power of friendship. They don't need to be your friends.
yeah, I guess.
Um, I don't think I have friends anymore, so and we've been doing pretty okay. I feel like I'm doing okay with, the accomplishment things.
What do you mean, the accomplishment things?
Work. Work's going pretty good.
Well, I hope one day we can talk about it.
I guess we'll see.
Yes, we'll see. I should get this off my head.
Yeah, is it burning? It's probably burning.
I'm not too worried, but yeah, it's burning a little.
Okay, yeah, let's wash it off. And the two of you go to wash all of the gunk out of your hair. Nix, is there anything else you wanted to accomplish today?
Well, that's a good question. I think she might try to make, even though Rose made herself medicine, she might try to make some kind of pain relief tea
Mm.
with Russ's help because Keld left. So this is going to taste horrendous. But
Do you even want to roll for it, or do you just know in your heart of
for
hearts it's bad?
taste, it's bad. The
Mhm.
medicine part is what we care about.
Okay. See, it'd be so nice of me to let you roll medicine. It'd be so nice. So here's what we'll do. We'll mitigate a bit. Go ahead and roll medicine. This will affect the other roll you will do.
Yeah. Medicine is a 26.
Okay, that's very good, I guess. That's pretty good. Yeah, so go ahead and roll me nature with advantage.
I don't need the advantage. That's a nat 20 on the first roll.
There you go.
So,
Oh man, does this tea taste
24.
bad? But
it still tastes
but
bad.
but normal, the most a plant can do for medicinal properties, it's doing it. You think it'll do that?
Nice. Great.
It only tastes as bad as any other herbal medicine.
Which is bad. Which is
It's
so bad.
really bad.
Like, somebody needs to figure that out.
It doesn't have to taste bad for it to be good for you. Give that up. It's a lie.
It's truly a shame. But you make a very nice tea. Are you bringing it over to Rose?
Yeah, I'll bring Russ with me because I don't want to go there by myself, especially if Roshan's still there. I don't want that.
Russ also does not want to go there, but I don't know.
I don't want to go by myself.
Well, I'm not going to make you go by yourself. We can go. I don't.
Great. Thanks.
We're civil.
Yeah. Sure.
I've definitely had enough time to process. And Russ will walk with you. Okay, Roshan. Hopefully your audio is a little nicer, but this is just a quick check-in. If you had to roll something, you'll be rolling it with advantage to see how well all of this went. What would you like to roll?
To see how well all of what went. Just the chat.
Your hair.
Oh, the hair. Okay. Probably nature.
Okay, so you have advantage on a nature check to
Okay.
see how it turned out, because it could be iffy when you're not using
Wow.
actual bleach.
I rolled a 1 and a 3, which becomes a 10.
Okay. There's in some spots, and it's lucky that your hair is very short, so it's like not the easiest thing to notice. There's like a little bit of like a hot root scenario, where you can see that it is like a lot lighter, like right at the head, and then like right, like slightly past it, it's like, okay, there's a bit of a two-tone. A couple spots that did not lift as far. You can always try again, but from the front, looks pretty good. From the back, there is like a spot that it's like, all right, that it did not lift. That spot did not really lift.
I think he'll look at it, like create an illusory mirror and look at it and kind of just nod and then consider shaving his head again later.
Rose looks at it and nods, and she's like, oh, that sucks. And then like runs her hand over it and it bleaches it instantly.
Oh, that's so rude. Why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Because that wouldn't have been as fun now, would it have?
She is your twin.
Yeah.
And then on the horizon, Russ and Nix approaching with some hot tea. Not the fun kind, a nasty cup of water, but it's good for you. You hear Rose go, hmm. She sees them approaching.
I think Roshan will look out the window and decide he doesn't have enough time to dart to grab all of his things and leave. So he'll get a little comfortable.
Okay. Your friends begin approach to have a tea party, and that is where we are going to take our break. Is this just so somebody can fix their audio? Yes. Thank you here. How about you go get a snack and a drink, and we will see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult. We just took our 10-minute break. There are some people over at the library having a good time. If you could mute yourself, please, Nathan. Thank you. My brain is so scattered today. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on.
It's a mood.
Guys, has your brain ever been broken? But some of you are at the library. Some of you are looking deeply into themselves and into their souls, and an oath that they made, a non-verbal oath in one case and a verbal oath in another case, and how those either conflict or go together. Things to consider, and how does that change you as a person, as somebody who's made a secondary oath? Stuff to ponder. Roshan has his hair bleached, learns that Rose has Ave's crest, and actually has it on her person. Has had it on her person the whole time. And Nyx has come over with some herbal tea. And you guys knock on the door, and a mage hand lets you in. Hey.
Just go put it down. So this is for you to help with other symptoms.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna taste really bad, but
Oh,
should work.
Okay. Is it magic or is it just plants?
Plants.
Okay. I just wanted to set my expectations where they should be set.
I don't think they were magic plants.
That's fine. Rose will drink it though. She immediately is like, yeah, and goes over there and pours herself a cup.
Well, that's it.
Oh, okay. You're leaving?
No, it's the same thing she said last time.
Nyx is like,
She's pondering. Like last time, she seemed mad when I left when she said that. She'll look at us. We could stay for a minute. Right?
sure,
It's
whatever you want.
it's okay. Now that we're finished up with my hair, I was going to head over to the workshop. So, and then Roshan will just let himself out because it's way too awkward.
So is that the only reason you wanted us to stay until he left? Or is there more?
Oh, you didn't have to stay. I usually feel like bigger groups are less awkward, and I see that that was a mistake actually. That this particular big group is actually the opposite.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad one. It's pretty bad. But you seem okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine now.
Okay.
Does you mean like a different kind of okay?
I don't know. Everybody has a different okay.
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
So I have a
I mean,
question. It's been bothering me.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
between both of you. So,
Mm.
are you his handler? Because it really feels like it. The same actions are kind of happening. If not, it's really weird and you must spend a lot of time with her.
Rose smiles. I really like you.
I'll just take that as a yes. Think can't answer. Got it. Good. Great.
I'm sorry that those measures that were taken didn't help.
Yeah. Sucks that you had to stab your hand for it to not work.
Maybe it just gave you the perfect amount of time.
One extra day.
Yeah, you looked bad. I could see through the jar that I was in.
That part was pretty bad. I honestly, everything that happened when it hit that point, I'm not sure I remember it super well because those things would get fuzzy really fast after it. You didn't see it when it was that bad, thankfully. It's probably good.
Yeah, I find it very hard to talk to you, mostly because it's very easy to talk to you.
Because you can't say things, but you want. I get right. Makes sense.
Well, it's more difficult with the things that I can say because they just happen, and that's annoying. But like, you're the perfect amount of involved and not involved. The perfect amount of care and not care, you know?
Right.
That, like, imagine if Roshan knew that I was just looking at him in the face for days.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that a secret.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. From everybody.
It almost kind of hurt my feelings. And that's stupid that it did, but you know.
Because he couldn't tell it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm really good at it, so it's fine.
But they aren't paying attention. That's why. Said the same exact things.
Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Now you have someone that knows. Both of you.
Russ looks like a weight has been just lifted fully off of his body. Russ
Like,
looks like
thank
he
God
can
you
breathe for the
fell.
first time. You kind of think on the like, he's like, some things aren't my things to tell. And
Yeah.
he fully was like, this isn't my thing I can tell.
God.
It's killing me.
Mhm.
Russ is just, he's done. He's fully
Yeah.
relaxed. He's good.
Yeah. Makes his wish even more of a waste. Yikes.
Yeah, no, I feel bad about it. If I had I thought about it over and over. Should I communicate with him? And I kept always coming back to no. That he'll figure things out. That you have to trudge through the mud. You have to search and hunt and build yourself up, and then he would find me. And he'd be better for it. And I don't think that was right. And I'm mad it wasn't.
He had done a lot of searching up to that point when you were
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. We're different people, and we're not. But I thought if he went through the same trials as me, if he was alone and he worked as hard as me, if he put in the effort I was putting in by myself, I didn't have anybody leading me and helping me, and I would be looking at me. And I'm not. And I'm doubting a lot of choices I've made, but there is currently nothing I can do about that. They were my choices.
Yes.
They were mine.
Best I can say is he's probably thinking the similar thing. that he had an expectation of what you'd be like when you guys reunited. So, maybe take it easier on him, because I'm not.
Mm. Everyone in this situation needs to be strong, needs to be resilient. And I can't give him that.
We'll figure it out.
Got this far. But he's getting his magic back, it seems to be. That seems to be bolstering him.
That's good. I hope his. Oh, gosh.
Hmm.
When Fen was mean to him, his like shadow friend almost attacked Fen, so I'm kind of might happen to me. That'll be something.
Oh. I really, really want to meet this shadow friend.
They're probably around. Maybe. I can't see him.
Yeah. Roshan did not seem to be able to conjure, locate. I don't know the right word for whatever they have.
I don't know. I have to ask him.
You see now, circling back to how talking to you hard and bad for me, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. Nobody else. There is nobody else to really talk to. So
You could come to the house and just be there to talk to people if you wanted. You don't have to stay in this house. Like, we have breakfast every day.
Maybe I'll come to breakfast tomorrow.
Right? It's at breakfast time. Whenever you
Okay.
get up.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
No. Plenty of space. It's a little less awkward because there's even more of us.
See, we say that now.
It wasn't bad today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come to breakfast tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. Specific, since he's not here, because of the pain, I was aiming for something that it would help with that. I can try to find magic type of plans.
No, it's fine. I feel very relaxed. It actually feels like almost like this was planned. Like this is like an interrogation tactic where you relax somebody
Is that a good
through
interrogation
medicinal
tactic?
means.
Huh.
And foggy brain, ask them questions, they will talk to you.
So it seems like, okay, I got recruited by these like spy people for a bit on accident, and I think it's just I'm good at doing this on accident.
It's a pretty good accidental skill, I suppose.
Interesting. That's the scrying on people less accidental, but
it's also a very good skill to have.
that was your hand I saw. Okay.
I cannot pinpoint that, but
I scryed on
maybe.
Dagwood, and it was your hand that sent me away.
Oh, I can't. It's probably because I can't be scryed upon. So if you had a visual of scrying and I began to step into frame, it would end the scry because I could not be scryed upon at that time.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I didn't know you were scrying on Dagwood. Good to know.
She knew.
Mm. I really hate how much I really like her and want to be her, you know? Like I really want to be her. But I can't
No.
be her, and it's kind of devastating.
I don't agree.
Eh.
You spent more time with her though.
Agree.
Right. Should probably go back. Need to bring them back through a tree at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'll chill with my tea, I guess.
Should last. This one's
Okay.
actually pretty decent. Most of them end up poisoning people. So
Oh,
this is probably the best one I've made.
well, I will keep you posted if I become poisoned.
Good to know. Because Kel didn't help with this.
Mm.
We'll take Russ and leave. I
Okay.
think we're good.
All right. You and Russ make your way out. Meanwhile, back at the library, so people can still continue, like, just absorbing their current pursuits if they are so inclined. But with 15s, I would say that you are able to get a second topic in, if so inclined.
Well, I suppose once Nana kind of like corners her research on self-care, I think maybe if she has time enough, I'm going back and forth between a couple topics. I guess probably something else about like trying to figure out a little bit more what to expect about the Baldecan, if there's like signs or something we can be looking out for, if it's meant to align with a cosmic something or other, then like whatever it is that could be a signifier or whatever it is that could indicate what Bosch might be looking for or in pursuit of next. If we can even get like a category that's pretty broad, that might help us to narrow down an actionable next step.
Okay. Fen, is there something you'd like to focus on, or it's like, baby, I'm so
I mean,
deep into crossbows right now?
I think Fenn's got what he needs on the crossbows. That's the Baldecan needs exactly what Fenn was also hoping to research. So if he could just help Nana with that, what like what happened in the Baldecan? So if there are signs that to look out for, like what was the actual occurrence, or in the fabled Baldecan, and
Yeah. What can we glean? What
yeah.
do we have? What can we say we know? What can we say is maybe like hearsay a few centuries of telephone down the line, but maybe there's some kernel of truth in it kind of thing.
Sure. Go ahead and give me intelligence with advantage, Nana.
Heard. See what we can do here. One of them. Fuck. Sorry. One of them rolled straight off the roller. First one was not very promising, so we got. Well, that's better, but not thrilling. It's a 13.
Okay. You end up stumbling, and stumbling I'm not using here in a negative way. It is showing that you are possibly on a right track. You keep stumbling into the books you and your party have already looked into. And you're
Okay.
like, okay, I'm back at the beginning of this line. I'll look into it. I'll look again. Maybe they point somewhere else. Maybe there's something else I can glean. And you
Or
see
maybe
that
there's
woman.
like some detail I'm missing as I'm going
Yeah,
by.
maybe, or something you've forgotten. Either way.
Maybe, yeah.
A lot's happened. A lot's happened between the library and the library.
A lot has happened. Maybe a refresher is what we need. Who knows?
It's been almost a
but you-
month.
It's crazy.
Mm.
It's been a long month, boys. Been busy. But you see that woman still keeps seems to kind of just be hovering in this area.
Like orbiting around where we're researching.
Yes.
I guess as she's making her way past, Nana would like to look up and respectfully ask, is there something I can help you with?
No, I was contemplating what I considered to be the most prudent option in this situation. May I see the title of the book you are looking at?
Yes, certainly. Nana will show her the books that she's had at her reading.
Are you a good person?
I want to be. I try to be.
I believe, guided by my knowledge of the lady and understanding myself, that I should provide help to you. Would you like me to also research the topic?
Yes, please. If you could help us find where we're missing, I seem to be stumbling across these same few books, and they seem to all point somehow back at one another without... Maybe I'm missing, perhaps, where they're indicating some other tome I haven't found, or something like that. But if you might be able to lend your expertise, I'd be very grateful. Yes, please.
All right, I advise that you continue your readings, and I will see if anything speaks to me. I was, just so you were informed, I was circling, which is very rude of me, but I had to take the time to make sure it was not a gut feeling that I was having, not a gut reaction, and had time to consider if I should intervene.
I very much appreciate your prudence in that. But thank you for nonetheless being nearby, and forgive my imprudent intrusion into your thoughts.
It's fine. It worked out for you. And she kind of turns on her heels and makes her way over to a different section.
All right.
Nana, information on the Baldachin. The Baldachin is an unconfirmed theory in regards to the fall that more ecliptic, strange, less mainstream, scientific, historian, magically inclined bodies lean towards. So this is not a mainstream theory. This is a theory that some hold true, and you know from last time you were here that Dagwood believes in this theory of the Baldachin. The Baldachin is the theory that during the fall, the world tree broke, that its branches fell, that they all collided down into one place, and that the world tree in and of itself is no more or diminished in some way. That is the theory of the Baldachin, that there are no branches, that the realms have combound in some way or disappeared, that there is no Yggdrasil. Or Yggdrasil is,
But a stump, basically.
yeah, much less than it once was, is the theory. The Baldachin is referred to as the death of Yggdrasil or the death of the world. That is the other names of the Baldachin, is the destruction of this tree. And there seem to be people who believe this theory, and then there is the wider population that has either never heard of this theory or discounts it. A lot of this theory is presented forward as, look, elves, dwarves, humans, we all exist on the same plane, on the same realm. And look, hell is over there. And then there's people who are like, well, that's just what we're calling it. Calm down, like,
Yeah.
so it's a toss up. There's no concrete evidence in these books. They say the word theory and avoid the word fact like the plague. It is very much almost like you're reading like a fictional book, the way they talk about it. It presents itself as fiction, but very aggressive fiction. Like, it stands by what it says, but we're not saying anything.
Cannot prove a number of things which would tie in and resolve a few questions we have, but still.
But you look into that, and eventually the two of you, now informed or re-informed of information you had on the Baldachin, a hypothetical event that may have occurred. There was no, in the books you were reading, there's no like warning sign. There was no like, impending day of doom. It's just the tree was destroyed, and it came tumbling down and destroyed the worlds with it.
No prelude to the fall, just it was there and then it was not.
The book focuses very specifically on the Baldachin, does not bring up the fall along. Uses it as like reference, like, and the fall, anywho, and then like pulls focus back to the Baldachin and this theory. And you hear the sound of heels approach, and this woman comes over. I don't know if this will help you. I do not understand, nor did I ask why you are looking into this topic, but if this does not help, my apologies for leading you astray, but there is nothing wrong with reading. And she sets a book down in front of you.
Thank you very much. I'll definitely look into it right away.
Of course. And she kind of like looks at the book, and like you can almost like she like sucks in her lips a little bit, and then turns on her heels and goes back to whatever she was doing. Now, no longer hovering, but like you do catch glimpses of her.
Okay.
But no longer circling.
Not in the orbit immediately here. It's just she's around.
She seems to be making herself around. You are presented with I don't think the word beautiful is right, but it is a simple yet extravagant thing. Such a simple little book, but a beautiful purple with gold writing atop it. And the title of this book is Planes Put Plainly as Possible for the Pedestrian Palette Provided by a Professional.
Interesting.
Perfect.
Good job, everyone. This book was written by Shelvadiro Breekid.
What an unparalleled appellation.
Welcome to this book, everyone. This book, I would say at first glance, both of you can tell because you've been looking at books all day.
Yeah.
Not a lot of hands have touched this book. This seems to not have been perused often. No broken spine, like not a lot of damage to the pages. This book seems to have just been hiding away in whatever spot it was in and was not really given a lot of notice.
Interesting.
This is a book written by Shelvedero that is a first-hand experience of the planes written by that hand, is how the book describes itself. The wording is superfluous. The language is flowery. The sentences and similes and comparisons sometimes do not make sense. It is almost as if it needs to fill in the space with words, even if it's like, half of those words didn't need to be there, but it's like, that's how this person writes. They fill in the space. It's definitely an energy you are perceiving from this person where they believe so heavily in what they are writing, and it is very authentically them. This is not written for readers. This person is writing what they want to write. And it is, in their opinion, their firsthand experience with plane travel.
As the author
And
comes through on the page.
you're like, I can see this person in my mind. You can hear their voice. It is a palpable thing. It is something. And a line catches your attention when they are describing themselves. They describe themselves as an avid acknowledger of the Baldachin theory.
Oh. Interesting.
So, Jillian, let me ask.
Yes.
We're
Sure.
talking about a plane traveler, but are we getting the impression that they are, I mean, Nana and Fen are both rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get the impression that this is a ranger type or like a wizard type, like a scholar? Like,
Okay.
or like, I'm getting a lot of bard in there too. So like, but like
You
what
guys
type
can
of
roll
person?
insight.
Yeah,
And because I
I'd
think this
love
person is so, I have described how they are just projecting themselves so aggressively. I'll give you both advantage to try and
Appreciate it.
guess what lens they are viewing the world through.
Oh.
Wow,
18 with the advantage for me.
both are pretty good.
Do you want me to give you
not.
my total insight? I don't
You
think
can
I
give me
do.
the total if you want to.
Okay, just because the numbers do be a bit high these days. That's a 27 in total without the Hell's Dowry equipped. As I said, I had put it in my bag.
Man, it's almost like Shelvedero is right there in front of you. Shelvedero is what a strange mix of things is what you are being presented with. This is an adventurer. This is somebody who craves what they are doing. This is somebody who is so deeply invested in planar travel. It is their passion. Doesn't speak ranger to you, though there is such a deep appreciation for the nature and the survival at all. They seem like they are very adept at surviving.
Or else how could they go between all these different planes, presumably each with very different environmental demands?
What you keep picking up on, besides the beautiful flowery language and it is definitely through the lens of knowledge. It is about learning. It is about knowing concrete information. This leans to you kind of more towards like wizard, but doesn't sit there perfectly. It's just like this person cares so deeply for the facts and will do anything to get them. And that seems to have made them kind of almost like a spider of a person, where each leg is holding on to an important facet to make them good at this. They are many things to be one thing in particular, and that is a plane shifter.
Huh. Interesting.
So
Very
this
this-
book,
interesting.
this
Mhm.
book is very lightly worn. It hasn't been read a whole lot, but can we get
Mhm.
any idea of how old it is, how long ago it might have been written?
Sure.
Surely there's a
Go
published
ahead.
date.
By golly, there isn't.
Oh, well then.
Well, golly. Fen,
Sure.
because this is specifically what you're looking into, you can go ahead and roll investigation for me.
Sure.
See if you're able to take a good
Um,
look at it.
19.
Okay.
Nice.
Your guesstimation has to, like, your heart of hearts, if you had to guess based on the wear and tear and the leather and all the little pieces, the yellowing of the paper, it is over 50 years old. That is something you can fully, like, you're like, it's over 50. Is it over 100? You don't think so. You think it's somewhere between 50 and 100.
Okay. Interesting.
Um,
Interesting.
as we all know, as all of you have been with me to the library before, it's exposition time.
It is.
We
We're
all
learning
been
about
here
the planes,
before.
children.
We're learning about the planes. And this person loves talking about them. This topic in general, and also, when you're like trying to slog through somebody's writing and you're like, God, this one does not flow smoothly through my mind. This person's does not. So this one is definitely taking you the evening. It's going to take you to, like, well, do I camp outside or maybe get somebody to take me home? You're also welcome to stay later and take a level of exhaustion. That's all up to you, but we're not there yet. Okay. So first off, they start out almost like they are trying to talk to the pedestrian palate of listing the planes and the ones that they believe, the realms that they believe are still in existence based on their experience and the Baldwin theory. The first one of note is Midgard. And then there is, connecting them, a slash between them, Niflheim and Jotunheim. And it says, renamed by me as Ruvenaheim. So this person has named a realm.
Huh. All right. Could we get that order one more time? I got glitched out on one of the names of the realms,
that's
I'm
okay.
afraid.
So there is Midgard, and I wasn't done, so it's chill. So there's Midgard.
Okay.
There is the combination realm of Niflheim and Jotunheim, which is, they refer to as Ruvenheim. There is Muspelheim. There's Asgard. And then there is a realm you have never heard the name of. They made this name. They coined this term. This is the realm of, this is Suppelheim.
Suppelheim?
Yes. And in brackets, it says the dust.
Okay. Interesting.
First, there is Midgard. That is where you live. That is the continent you exist upon. In your mind, it is either just the continent is Midgard or the entirety of the world is Midgard. That is up for you to decide how you have always felt about that. However you feel about it, that's fully up to you.
Meeting Toll probably did shift that some.
Yeah, that he's like, I don't call it Midgard. That's y'all's weird shit. was
true.
People's vibe on that. They say on Midgard, or as I lovingly refer to her as, the womb, and less lovingly, the consumer. She has embraced the unlisted realms, that which was once elves and dwarves. Helheim, and hesitantly I list Vanaheim, the once home of the Vanir gods, and the crumbling pieces of Jotunheim. These are now unequivocally Midgard. This person believes that multiple realms are now just Midgard.
They just fell together, like the Baldachin asserts.
They cannot be accessed when plane shifting from the womb because they no longer truly exist. We stand side by side with humans, elves, and dwarves. We can see hell burning across the water. The mountains freeze blood solid. Our soil is God's. How could I claim this is the Midgard of old? The most frightening of the consumer's meals is Helheim and Vanaheim, God realms, and the inevitable end, which should not rest in the belly of Midgard. Is that why our world wishes to tear itself apart? I believe so, yes. I am forced to write with gritted teeth that this is just a hypothesis, as I am forbidden from calling what I see a fact, if I wish for this to even be considered by those deemed bland enough to claim fact. That is the information that you acquire about Midgard, is that it is a consumer of realms. That
at the very least, it's just where everything else fell down into.
That Midgard was strong enough to hold the realms that fell atop it, and they are now one.
Wow. Which, I mean,
then there is
the notion of Helheim being here with the corruption happening. There's some rhyming happening there.
And then there is Rüvenheim, which is their combination name for Niflheim and Jotunheim. They refer to it as a broken realm made of the shattered corpses of Niflheim and Jotunheim. I call it for what it is, the Tower. A realm of cold that would make the valley shiver. A realm of sleeping giants, slumbering mountains of living flesh, though not everything there sleeps. Perhaps the giants freeze because Muspelheim has shifted too far from her embrace. Following up is Muspelheim, referred to as the anomaly of fire. What can I say of this molten beauty? It is a land of fire and lava, yet a defier of gravity. The realm is upside down, or perhaps it is the only one right side up. Travel there is impossible without flight, and way to not become ash. Primordial fire grows unchecked, yet has no impact on Rüvenheim or the womb. So it seems that once ice and fire were close enough that they kind of consisted in the same space where they impacted each other in a way to contain each other, that is no longer the case in the eyes of this person. That fire and ice are so distant that ice has become unbearable in this one realm, and fire has become unchecked and so distant in this realm that it just continues to burn and grow, but is so far away that it has not affected other realms. It is left unchecked and distant.
But
then
potentially growing, question mark.
Yeah, potentially growing. And then
Cool.
there's Asgard, the home of a diminished pantheon. A complex plane to reach as it does not smoothly lie atop Midgard, which may be for the best. Perhaps this disjointed positioning explains why the gods do not interfere as heavily as they were rumored to before the fall, and why those gods live do that. Stay. Asgard homed Valhalla. I am not sure we can rest with the gods any longer. So it seems Asgard is also a hard plane to access. It is unclear if this person has been there or not. They do not describe it in as visual detail as the others.
If nothing else, maybe they tried to access it and maybe all they got was a glimpse. Maybe they were able to enter once and never got to explore, or maybe not even that.
And then there is the creation of Soppelheim, an indescribably beautiful horror.
The Dust, it was called, right?
I have shifted between many names for this new plane. My favorites being the amalgam, the remains, the dust, and the trash. At the destruction of Yggdrasil, the realms collided, in some cases merging and stacking. The collision broke the realms, literally turned them to shrapnel. I could muse this shrapnel is what killed the gods, but that would be purely speculation. This plane is the broken remains of everything, a bastard version of the womb. When creatures are forcibly forced across planes, this is normally where they end up. This cosmic dust is ingrained in every thread of Midgard, a near mirror. If that mirror showed you a Midgard that had only heard of in song and dream, trees mirrored, though some jagged and vile in appearance, and some with leaves of dazzling gems. The animals mirrored. The grass, the rivers, the man-made structures, near everything. I hypothesize that the Forest of Eden is the strongest connection to the realm, having some bleed through. There are some beings that exist in this plane, though they are twisted and strange. Beings that exist in this realm for far too long can cause physical changes, beautiful and inevitable. Returning to the womb after existing in the remains feels somewhat hollow. I find myself craving staring at those trees until my eyes crystallize. And then they go into an explanation. They're like, and then here's what I know about planar travel. Like, it's almost like, oh, okay, we got past the things that I but this is their explanation of planar travel. Planar travel is incredibly dangerous. The realms of ice and fire, I should rename a death sentence. They can be traversed for short periods of time with much preparations. Suppelheim is the easiest realm to enter and traverse, but I advise short trips. Prepare for the unexplainable and be in awe of a broken reality. Do not seek Asgard. If gods struggle to return to here, how could we? The realms have not much beauty and knowledge to provide. They've given okay. 3 a.m. Jillian, go fuck yourself.
Mood.
The realms have much beauty and knowledge to provide. They have given me so much to bring home. And I have been taken from in equal measure. A part of me will always be with the realms.
One must wonder how literal he was being with that, but with prose like this, it's anyone's guess. Interesting.
And it is nighttime.
I wonder if the author of that tome yet lives.
I do wonder. There is a chance, I suppose. Nana's definitely going to make sure that we have in the notes taken down the title of the book and the book's author, on the off chance that maybe the author might be willing to give an interview.
Okay.
To
It
some
is late.
interested parties who want to hear about the theory.
Of course. What's your plan?
Yeah, the rest of the night. It's either camp out here somewhere or arrange to make our way back pretty much now. I'd hate to send much later and rouse Nyx from bed.
I think it's, unless there's more research you'd like to do, best to be back in Dem Woods tonight rather than tomorrow.
Hmm. Nothing that I think I'd be able to actually manage to research in anything resembling a short amount of time, no. Although, before we leave, I might make one more inquiry with the attendant who was assisting us earlier.
Whatever you need.
I think Nana will just sort of look around and see if she can catch sight of the woman who had been helping them earlier on with this particular book.
Sure, easy enough.
I'm presently pondering the most prudent course of action for myself, and I wondered. I know myself to be less adept at navigating these shelves. I could stay many, many days and find a good many things, but not nearly as fast, I think, as you yourself or most anyone, I think, could. But if I were to request, perhaps, a topic be researched and maybe a list of books set aside, perhaps I could come by again sometime and look at some of those books. I'm not certain how soon I'd be able to be back, but if that's possible.
Preparations like that are available, though when a person is not physically here and someone must do all of the work, it is, we request payment.
Of course. I certainly would not ask for that to be done for free. What would be the fee?
It depends on how many topics you need researched and how difficult those topics may be.
The one that comes to mind for me is one which my group and I had touched upon on a previous visit and had not gotten very far into. I suspect perhaps maybe another case of a book just not being as obvious to us. The topic of Gungnir, the fabled relic of Odin's spear.
I personally find that a pretty straightforward topic. The price being 10 gold pieces for that one.
That would be the primary one. I've a vested interest at the moment in acquiring more information on now. And I'll gladly pay the 10 gold immediately. And where would I inquire when I came by again in order to pick up that list?
I would advise talking to the front desk.
Sensible and prudent. Thank you.
We try.
I very much appreciate it.
Of course.
You've been very helpful this evening, and your library has been a good sanctuary. Thank you.
Some books deserve their time.
I think that book very much deserved more time, I think, than perhaps it's had. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, and I may look into looking at it again.
Of course. Good night. And she turns. She's like, good.
Good
End
night.
of conversation. Good night. And turns and goes.
Cool. Well, that being said, unless Fen had anything else he wanted here, Nana's okay with popping ascending and inquiring with Nyx about a ride back home to Dem Woods.
Let's go to the drinking tree and send the message.
And this tree has a lot of names, just like this terrible plane that this person decided is real.
We'll see how much that really fits into anything we need, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe the
in
guy's full
the-
of shit. Maybe he's talking sense. Hmm.
Maybe. Nix, you receive a sending. Pick me up. Mom, pick me up.
Thanks, it's
Send us
late.
for a
I gotta go
ride.
Can we please have a ride
Mom,
home?
I want to go home.
I'm
Mom, they're
tired.
drinking and doing drugs. Mom, pick me up.
Come get me up.
I'll give them their tree opening.
Thank you. And then you won't have to spend it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's right. Did you find what you're looking for? Have a good time at the library.
Yes and no.
Potentially.
Found some things. Definitely got some good pointers, at least for places to start, and some interesting ideas about maybe, I don't know, might be stuff that could be important to facing Bosch. I'm not sure yet. Maybe, though. Stuff about the Balderkin at the very least. Little bit. Or somebody who seems to think that the Balderkin is more than just a theory and could have contributed to the state that the planes are in now, supposedly. So, don't know if Bosch is trying to hook into something to do with that. And, you know, Dagwood seemed to certainly feel like the Balderkin was a viable theory as well. If she thinks so, we maybe could assume Bosch has similar ideas, if not the same. I don't know.
Good to know.
Yeah. Beyond that, some basic self-care stuff. I don't know.
Okay. It's just like a self-help, but you could have asked for advice. Something. Just to have a whole library trip for self-help books, but
I don't know. Maybe I should have refined my search for self-help for adventurers who are facing the end of the world. A lot of the advice was good. You know, keep up with your hobbies. I have been taking good care of Thick Biscuit. Journal a lot, which I haven't been doing. Write letters, which, I mean, I've written a bunch.
you're supposed to send them too. That's probably like part of it.
Yeah, well, when I'm worried that they're gonna get intercepted by a serial killer who mulched my house and, you know, wants everything and everybody dead. Little intimidating to send that off at the post.
Also, just based on the time, everybody would probably be back at the house.
Makes sense.
Just throwing you all into the same space if you're so inclined.
Ears are up.
Roshan's probably a bird in the tree, just watching.
I saw the tree up and he's like, hell no, I'm out.
Yeah, he's just off and away in another tree. Not gonna be part of that. I don't know.
So not something you could talk to all of us. We're right here all the time.
Yeah, it should be that easy. I never really had much luck making many friends. Ben knows he was one of a handful I had growing up. Don't know. I just guess I'm rusty.
Well, you've got us. So
Yeah.
How did your day go?
I feel like mine was productive.
Yeah.
Bosch is almost dead. Doing some
Oh.
weird praying in front of a tree.
Oh,
But
do you know what tree?
no, it's in the same time zone as us.
Can you see the
Okay.
tree?
But I could see like something like a shadow, and there was something in front of him. There was definitely the tree there, but I couldn't see the tree.
You could tell there was a tree present, but you couldn't get
Yeah.
many details of the
I'm
tree.
assuming like because he has somebody like me that works for him, he's probably like, oh, I should probably not be right next to trees. That's my guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
What was
That
he
would make
doing?
sense. Yeah.
I'm assuming talking to his god. He talked a little bit, asking for a sign.
Fine for what?
Sounds like his god's grown quiet.
Yeah. Just a sign for him to, I'm assuming, cause the end of the world.
Which I don't even know what he'd be looking out for. Like, none of
It could be
if
anything.
he's
Yeah.
if he's trying to recreate the Baldekin, there's really no. I looked through damn near every book we found last time on the Baldekin, and another book on top of that that wasn't about the Baldekin but was about planes, and did mention that the author was a firm believer in the Baldekin theory.
Hmm.
All
Was there
across all of
any-
these.
Did you find anything that might connect?
I mean, maybe. Is the thing is, there's no indication that anybody has an idea about what led up to the Baldekin. There's no like, there were these signs, and this was in alignment with that, and this, that, the other. It's just
Yeah.
Yggdrasil fell, the branches fell into one another, and Nana will pull out the notes that she took on the plane book. This fellow seems to have made it his business to travel between planes and to look at what he can find of them and make note of them in very exhaustive detail, and a lot more language, I think, than he strictly needed to use, but that's fine. Point is, he seems to have noticed that there are certain planes which have collapsed together. He seems to have noted that, to his best understanding, Midgard has been fused in with a couple of other planes which collapsed into it. Midgard was able to catch those, sort of, and they just merged, they fused, for all intents and purposes. There's several that just aren't there anymore. There's some which are still there, but because of the changes of the planes, the change that happened because of the fall, there are balances which are out of balance. The plane of fire growing unchecked, but it's now far enough away from everything else that it's not causing a problem yet. And the plane of ice being so close to this other plane that it is entirely overtaking that other plane. And so I don't know
It's
what
a lot
it
of
is
stuff
that,
beyond our reach, really.
I mean, really, and there's so little indication about what Bosch might be looking for out of this. Like, what is he trying to cause another fall? Is he aiming, if this theory is true, if this person who has mapped the planes has done so accurately and isn't insane, if we assume that these are the last remaining branches of Yggdrasil, is Bosch's aim to then pull these last branches down? Or what?
I think that's a potential motive.
Well,
I
it's
don't
guesswork
find
at
the
this point, but
I don't find the theory disbelievable, at least as a metaphor. What happens to trees? What happens to branches of trees that fall to the ground? They sit there and rot. And I think that's what we're seeing.
The rot of planes dying atop
That
one another.
is. That does seem to be his goal.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow bringing the living into that.
There was this one proposed plane. And if Bosch is looking for an end to all things, this sounds to be like the one place he would be reaching out for the most. This is entirely unsupported by anybody else. This is the one author who has written about this plane. Who knows if he's making it up? But he claims that this plane is the detritus of everything that fell. It is the dust, the remains of the planes that did not get caught elsewhere. It is easy to get to, but dangerous to stay long. It is a mirror place, and he supposes that the Forest of Eden, the Garden of Eden, is a very strong connecting place, with some parts of it actually being thin enough for things to pass between.
Wasn't
for
that
things-
something? Yeah.
Like, there were creatures there that were changed, and he talks about things passing into this other plane, being changed there, or by the energies there, or whatever. I don't know. If Bosch is looking to unravel life, if there is a god or entity that he's appealing to make that happen, I don't suppose there's any other place he would look to at the very end of his search but the trash bin.
Didn't Ing call out to a god or goddess as they died above the forest?
There was one. This is Mac Smooth Brain having a hard time with this.
Yord?
I believe it was Njord.
No. It's just
Yord.
Yeah.
Or was it?
There is
Yeah,
there
it's
is
just Yord.
Njord, and
Njord
there's
is
Yord.
Njord's
Okay.
the foot photos god, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Njord is the god of the
Right.
ocean and has beautiful feet.
That's
Yord is the god that the cult worships, that is the god of an unpopulated earth.
that one. I don't know. There could be nothing of use in all of this rambling, or this could be maybe our best bet at figuring out what Bosch's next step is. Maybe before he does, if he's really grasping at straws, looking like he's on death's door. I don't know. This was a book which was brought to my attention by one of Snotra's attendants. She said she did not know for what purpose she was drawn to it, but she knew that it had not seen very much attention, and it was a book that didn't seem like it'd been cracked much. Maybe the author's considered a crackpot. Maybe nobody likes his theory. Maybe it was just in a weird shelf that nobody saw. Whatever.
Definitely seems
I
to
don't
have
know.
some interesting information. Some stuff that definitely sounds like things Bosch is, I guess, believes in or
He
wants.
talked in his note he left for me about pursuing the overflow. I think he was talking about the corruption that was being offset from the West by Ave's ritual and it carrying over into the East. But I don't know, perhaps if there's something to there being like somewhere where it would gather, somewhere it would pool. maybe there's something to do with the planes which could inform where that might happen. I don't know.
Like a
It's not
mirrored,
my expertise, but
like a mirrored world beneath us.
Hmm.
maybe.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. This is just what I've found, and this is the only author who's written to this extent about this reading of the planes. So if he's still alive, and if he still holds as tightly to this theory now as he did when he wrote the book, maybe he'd be willing to talk some more about the theory with somebody who's maybe a little more willing to hear the less likely things that he couldn't get published. I don't
maybe
know.
so. Even if we can't find him, I feel like there's some interesting things in that book, so that might have been a good
Mhm.
find, Nana.
I can't even really take credit for it, but thank you. It was with good help that I had the opportunity to find it, so I'm grateful. And hopefully it'll be a good help for us going forward.
Definitely gives us some more to think about.
Do we know what we're going to say to Gunhild?
Sorry for not telling you we were leaving town.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry we had to save our friend's life. She was going to die in a matter of days if we didn't do what we did.
There was that.
We're no good to your cause or anyone else's if we're dead.
We can workshop that.
Yeah, pointing it out that bluntly is not going to win us any favors. And at present, we need her to at least parley with us and not set us on fire.
This is why I don't mute myself. Just the
Oh,
sound
no.
in the quiet. There's
Uh,
just the sound of
uh,
a bird shuffling on a branch.
Eh.
Looking in the window to see if everyone's
Mhm.
still out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So are we going back tomorrow or the day after?
I think sooner would be better.
Sooner would be better, but yeah, I don't know.
'Cause we honestly need more answers to move forward.
Yeah, there's precious little that we're able to move on actionably until we've got more intelligence.
Hmm.
We're out of touch with Bosch's movements and the rest of
Mhm.
the cult, and we need to figure out where we stand again.
Yeah.
I'm good to go tomorrow. I don't think I have anything else to do in town. Guess we should ask Roshan whenever he comes back.
Where is he anyway? Around?
Last I saw, he was going to the workshop again.
Okay, working on his rock.
He
Alright.
bleached his hair, just so everyone knows.
What hair?
Yeah.
He had a bit of peach fuzz growing in, I guess. He did mention over breakfast that he was going for a different look. It actually worked.
Looked like it did.
It's
Wasn't
impressive.
around long for me to find out anything else.
Nix,
Mm.
you seem to be on decent enough terms with Roshan. I Is everything all right? Wrong question.
We
Um,
we are on speaking terms. We're on the same page. We're not friends. We are just working together.
that makes sense. I understand.
I don't expect you, Fen, to like not be friends with him anymore. Known him a lot longer than I have, but every single thing that happened, I cannot find a way to trust him again.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've known Roshan and Rose a very, very, very long time. But I'm not sure if I do anymore. I don't know.
Welcome to go find him and talk to him.
Yeah. I think that's best. But so long as things are okay to move forward between the both of you, at least as far as our business with Bosch goes, then I'm glad to have you along. And let me know if there's anything that I can do for you.
Hey, you can take care of yourself first. We're good. Roche and I have figured that out. I forgave him. I accepted his apology. Like, I get what led him to what the choices he made. I'm not putting myself in a position to be hurt by his choices again. I'll keep helping him. I'm helping his sister. You guys are still fine. I let myself get close to him very quickly, and that was the wrong choice. And
Sorry. I'm sorry that happened. I can't say definitively that the Roshan that I knew never would have done that. I'd like to think so. I don't know. And there's precious little that speculating about it now would help you. We'll do our best. We'll move forward, and I'll take care of myself as best I can.
that's good. Nyx is gonna get up and go into her room and cry with no one around. Less
Yeah.
Russ, then he can see her cry. That's fine.
Yeah, I can
No
only
fault.
assume Russ was in there and is like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben's gonna go shoot a crossbow in the dark.
Someone yells in the distance.
Ow!
My
What the
ass.
fuck?
You shouldn't look so much like a haystack.
I'm sorry.
How could
I was
you?
built that way.
Wow.
I just like straw.
I love my straw dress, the audacity.
This is my best Sunday hat.
I really like the aesthetic. And I thought it was bright enough for nighttime. I guess not.
My reflective straw.
It's just my reflective straw
You
outfit.
gotta make sure it glows in the dark.
Yeah, he's like, I guess I'll work on
Spin
that
the
after I
glass.
Yeah.
pull this bolt out of my ass cheek. But you all are welcome to do any tasks as you wind down for the night. Is there anything of note before bed, or is it maybe we're heading out in the morning?
Hoping we're heading out in the morning.
Get to breakfast. I promised Rose that we were
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
breakfast together, and that'd be really rude.
Yeah.
Except tomorrow.
Okay. All of you get ready for bed and head to where you need to and clean up and finish up your tasks, and you are left with your thoughts before you all eventually drift off to sleep. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. Well, thank you guys for being here. If you'd like to see more of this story, look further back, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and see how we got here, and you can watch other you can watch our other VODs and one-shots and other campaigns. If you are interested in something different and you're like, by golly, gee whiz, this is fun, but I love vampires. Well, do I have something for you?
Are you
on
tired of
Sat-
swords and sorcery? Try on some vampires and vandalism.
Are you tired of hearing about the plains? Are the realms not your interest? Well, have I talked to you about Oklahoma?
True
It's
source
the
of
realm
all
of
horror.
Oklahoma.
the realm of Oklahoma. If you'd like to join us on our Vampire the Masquerade campaign, you guys are gonna have to hold those for a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
You can go ahead and watch that over same channel, same place.
Mhm.
On Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our game Stake in the Game, where
Mhm.
honestly, hey, it's just a bunch of idiots who haven't crashed a car yet.
Haven't
If
crashed
you-
one yet.
Not yet.
Hey,
Give
I
you
crashed
time.
somebody else's car.
But not your
Cars
own.
were destroyed, but not ours.
They weren't owned by the driver.
And I think that's a win. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in Vampire the Masquerade, you can join us on Saturdays. The VODs are also over on YouTube. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at The Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. If you want some beautiful dice, now you may hold them up if you're so inclined. You can go to the box below or the chat, and you can get some beautiful dice that are like, boy, howdy, do I love drama, because that's what they crave, and they'll do whatever it takes, whether that's
They
a nat
will.
1 or a nat 20. They know, and they'll give
They
it to you.
do. They
That's the point.
will. They know whether you do or not.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. We will be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining.